So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our another episode of the podcast at voptv.co. And you know that this year marks the 10th anniversary of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. That is the flagship project of Belt and Road Initiative, and we all know that it was initiated by Chinese President Xi Jinping back in 2013. So Pakistan and China, they are very good friends, brothers, and the time-tested, relationship both countries are having with each other. So the Pakistan is a kind of a lucky country that got China-Pakistan Economic Corridor project under the Belt and Road Initiative, and have done a great job, got a tangible results for the people in Pakistan, and both countries, I think, definitely have got the tangible results for the people on both sides. Today we have, invited a very seasoned and a career diplomat, Mr. Sheirin. He is the Consul General in Lahore from China, and we have invited him to our show, and we'll try to explore the various dynamics of the Pakistan-China relationship, and of course China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, that how our relationship is evolving, fostering under the leadership President Xi Jinping and the Prime Minister Mia Shehbaz Sharif, and how China-Pakistan Economic Corridor have transformed the Pakistani society, and what kind of opportunities we will be having in the future under this China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. So, Mr. Sheirin, thank you very much. We are very thankful to you that you are here. You have you dedicated your precious time for us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. And I hope that you are having a great time in Pakistan as well. There in Lahore and in Islamabad.
Indeed. I have been here, for more than one year.
Oh, great.
And frequently I visit Islamabad as well as I stay in Lahore.
Oh, great.
So my impression is that our friends, our brothers, the Pakistanese people are really friendly, and they are also very resilient.
Yes, Pakistan for the Chinese people is always considered as a second home, and likewise, the China is always considered as a second home for the Pakistani people. So we always enjoy in each other's countries, and we get a great respect, and we are having a good time.
Right. We are very lucky.
Yes, definitely. So, Mr. Sheirin, first of all, I would like to ask about the China and Pakistan relationship. We know that we are having a 7 decades long, history of this relationship, and there are very emotional stories, touching stories about the relationship of both countries. In your opinion, how do you see that this relationship has evolved with the passage of the time?
Thank you for the question. As you know, this year really marks the 72nd anniversary of the diplomatic relations between China and Pakistan. So our relationship is not only for 7 decades, as you mentioned.
Yes.
It's even more than that.
More than that.
Going deeper into the long history, about several thousand years.
Definitely.
And with this year, 2023, as I said, marking the anniversary, 72nd anniversary, so our bilateral relationship and our mutual friendship definitely would be further promoted and enhanced and strengthened. And that kind of relationship, mutual cooperation would be brought to a new level with achievements we have already made for CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, as well as for our overall, relationship. And this relationship is deeply rooted in history, and it really touches upon the hearts of the people. On China's part, we developed our relationship with Pakistan in a comprehensive way, in a holistic way approach. It's not only for economic benefits, not only for political mutual trust, not only for people-to-people exchange or cultural interactions. So it's a kind of, I may say, one package for all.
Oh, great.
It's not one size for all or one size fits all. It's one package for all, including all the elements, dimensions of this bilateral relationship. And this relationship will not only impact a lot on bilateral arena, it will also have a great influence and leave a strong footprint on international arena as well.
Just definitely.
So I believe this relationship would be sustained, would be further strengthened, and would be working towards a new height for common good,
Yes.
for mutual benefits.
Yes, sure. We know that the Chinese government and the Pakistani government at all the time, they have supported each other and they have attached a great importance and significance to the relationship. And in this era, Chinese President Xi Jinping and the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mia Shehbaz Sharif, they have met and they have decided to foster the relationship in the future as well. How do you see that this fostering of the relationship in the new era as regarding the situation in the region and the international, how do you see that this relationship will be, getting or evolving or cultivating more benefits for both of us?
Right. I believe, as I said, for the first question, this relationship is not only for the history, for the past, for the present. It is more importantly aiming at the future. I mean, a bright future, a shared future for our two countries, for our two peoples. Since Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif took office, he paid the first official maiden visit to China last November. And it is of special significance that his visit is the first visit of foreign head of government to be invited by the Chinese government right after the party's 20th National Congress.
Yes.
So it shows that the Chinese government, the Communist Party of China, together with the Chinese people, really pay a lot of attention, and even President Xi Jinping himself cherished a lot, for China-Pakistan relationship. So after the visit of the Prime Minister, I believe our mutual exchanges and visits, high-level visits, have been regained, have been sustained, and there's a kind of new momentum in this. And this year, Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang just paid a visit,
Yes.
his inaugural visit
Yes.
to Islamabad, I believe in early May.
Yes.
And also your army chief,
Yes.
your navy chief,
Yes.
and even your ISI chief,
Yes.
paid visits respectively to China, seeking to further explore the military cooperation.
Definitely.
So this relationship, as I said, is multidimensional. It is of multi-facets.
Yes, definitely.
And with mutual exchange and mutual visits, gaining new momentum, and I believe more visits will be seen in coming months, especially with the commemorative activities or events to be planned, to be held, either in Islamabad or in Beijing, in our two countries. So more high-level visits, delegations, would be seen in the coming months. So all of these efforts are made by our two governments, two peoples, is to further promote the practical cooperation and the collaboration, even the aligning of development strategies or philosophies between our two countries.
Yeah, definitely. And it shows the significance and the importance of the relationship, and that many of the high-level leadership from Pakistan have visited China recently, and the Chinese foreign minister and the other guys, they are visiting Islamabad. So
Right.
it shows that how much importance the both countries, they are, putting to these relationship. So one of the question is that China has opened after the, COVID-19. China's story in tackling the COVID-19 is commendable. The China as a country, as a nation, Chinese people and the Chinese government, Communist Party of China, they have done a great job in tackling this COVID-19. It was an unseen challenge stated by President Xi, and I think China has contributed a lot by helping the other countries in tackling this disease. So after this reopening, how do you see especially the opportunities for the Pakistani companies, for the Pakistani traders to have a good trade, to resume their trade with Chinese markets, and how do you see the opportunities for the Chinese companies as well in Pakistan, how they are going to invest in the future?
This is a really good question. And we are always thinking about it, and we are doing accordingly. That COVID-19, this pandemic, really brought a lot of sufferings, pains, not only to China, but also to Pakistan, to almost all the countries around the world. And this almost 3 year, we call it hiatus or pause, had a kind of adverse effect on the exchanges and the visits, even the practical cooperation in industry, agriculture, and some other areas. So we are very happy to see after 3 year COVID pandemic hiatus or pause that this kind of mutual visits, this kind of cooperation has gained new momentum. I mean, a kind of vitality or vibrancy has been injected into this process. So, against this backdrop, there are many projects launched by China, by Pakistan, by both of us, also has been remaining on the track, or I may say even, on the faster track, to try to gain, to remedy the losses we had during the past 3 years. The latest example I can tell you, I can inform you, is that the number of direct flights between our two countries are also on the rise.
Great.
And China Southern Airlines very soon, this month, is going to resume its operation between Lahore and Urumqi, Xinjiang.
Great.
So that's been slated for June 13th, providing convenience, facilities, or facilitating the travel, the trade between Punjab and the relevant regions, provinces in China. At least it's quite convenient for doing service to students, traders, and business community as well, to have a kind of cost-effective, as well as reducing the travel time,
Yes.
Providing the trade opportunity, the business opportunity to them. And I know that at the moment, a lot of Pakistani youth or young people, they are willing, they are eager to resume the study or to go to China for receiving their higher education, medical science or in other areas. Totally, it would be about more than 20,000 Pakistani students now are studying in China. So this resumption of the flights would definitely be beneficial to them. And I also, engage with local captains of industry and commerce and Chamber of Commerce and a lot of business community in Lahore, in Punjab. They welcome this resumption of the flights.
Definitely.
And they're even asking for something more, like, visa policy, like, issuing the tourism visa for Pakistanis as well for the Chinese. So we believe that mutual exchange and the visits would definitely be a kind of plus.
Sure.
And our trade, including import, export, would also be expedited. So, this year is really of special significance for China, for both China and Pakistan, because it is the 72nd anniversary, and all the exchanges, visits after the COVID-19 pandemic would be a kind of encouragement, would be a kind of very positive development to both of us.
Yes.
In terms of the visits, in terms of the trade, especially for the trade, for the business. And concerning the Chinese investment in Pakistan, because we always deem that trade, investment, very important for economic collaboration, especially at the moment for Pakistan to tackle its very extraordinary economic situation.
Yes.
So we also on the same page with our Pakistani brothers, our counterparts, in making extra efforts to bring more Chinese investment to Pakistan. But it also hinges on the favorable business environment, the friendly in the doing business ease conditions, as well as a kind of overall political stability. Because, as you know, Zamir, you have been in China, there's a kind of secret weapon for Chinese economic miracle or for Chinese unprecedented economic growth. We have two beauties, or we have two secret weapons. Number one is we really enjoy very sustained and rapid economic growth rate.
Yes.
Number two, we maintain long-term social stability.
Mm-hmm.
So we think that for any country's economic development or the creation of a welfare society, economic growth plus social stability present a kind of ideal scenario as well as a kind of prerequisite. So I believe with this year in place that our bilateral relations, especially the investments from China, from Chinese companies, would be increasing, would be on the rise. So that would also a kind of contribution by China, by Chinese private sector to Pakistan and to Pakistani economy.
Yes, definitely. You have mentioned a lot of things like both of the nations, we have the bilateral free trade agreement, and now that China International Import Expo is also going to be there, and it has really attracted and encouraged many of the exporters in different countries, especially from Pakistan, to export their products in the Chinese market. China is a huge market. So I think there is a good need of the time that the Pakistani companies and the Pakistani exporters, they need to explore their opportunities in the Chinese market as well. So now we would like to talk about the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. That is really a flagship project of the Belt and Road Initiative. And Pakistan is really very thankful to the Chinese government and the Communist Party of China, the people who have created and this idea of the Belt and Road Initiative, because not only Pakistan, I think more than 150 countries, they are part of it, and really the developing countries who are in the need of the financial investment, they are really thankful to the Chinese government for this initiative. So how do you see that China-Pakistan Economic Corridor in Pakistan, it has attracted more than $29 billion of investment. It was stated by our Federal Minister, Mr. Hassan Iqbal. How do you see that this Chinese investment has transformed the various sectors, especially the energy sector, the transportation sector, the development of the highways, how it has transformed the Pakistani various sectors?
I believe you are in better position than I am to comment or to speak on this issue. But since I've been here and I happily accepted this interview, so I may make my own comments or observation of this mega project. First of all, I fully agree with you that the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, we simply call it CPEC here, it's really a kind of flagship pilot project affiliated with BRI, Belt and Road Initiative. And I heard a lot of people here saying to me that the CPEC is a kind of lifeline, is a game changer for Pakistan socio-economic transformation, for Pakistan overall development. As a diplomat, as Consul General of China in Lahore, I do not often use this wording, lifeline or game changer. But I can assure you, and I am also of the view that CPEC really played a very significant, important, or even vital role in Pakistan social transformation, economic growth. Because in Lahore, in Punjab, there are a lot of projects. Not so many, like 5 or 6 or 7. And concerning the transportation, the energy sector, I mean the power supply, and also CPEC has been developing from phase 1 to phase 2. So even covering more areas like healthcare, education, industrial cooperation, and here you normally refer as industrial relocation.
Yes.
All right, and some others, or even IT technology, renewable energy, and so many aspects or areas to be covered by CPEC phase 2.
Yes.
So I can give you some figures according to my memory that CPEC really had a profound impact on Pakistan or on Pakistan's social economic development. First, I mean, in power sector, that they have helped to successfully tackling the deficit in power supply here in this country. The overall contribution would be about 40% for the IPPs under the umbrella of CPEC. And all the Chinese, companies invested in power sector, not only the traditional energy resources, but also, the solar, wind, hydro, and coal-based. So this power sector contribution by Chinese companies, by China, has amicably settled the power supply deficit to Pakistan. We can see, in Lahore or in Islamabad, they're less load shedding. They are, but they're less than before. So that is one sector or one showcase of this CPEC contribution. And on the infrastructure building, in China we have a proverb saying, if a country want to be rich, you have to build roads first.
Yes.
So because it provides access for the community, for the society to have more trade, more business, and more economic opportunities. So we deem very high, and we put this infrastructure building or upgradation on our top priority. And I believe on the railways, not on the railways, on the highways, on the roads, bridges, even dams, we contribute a lot. Like the M2 or M5, I'm not so sure, but there is about 600 square meters, not square meters, kilometers, right, from Moatan to Suku. That's built by Chinese company.
Yes.
And also there are like so many power plants invested by China, by Chinese companies. Carrot and Hub,
Yes.
Town, Sahiwal, and also Material.
Material.
Lahore transmission line project,
Yes.
and Orange Line, metro train, so many. So this infrastructure building up is a kind of plus. Also, it's kind of precondition for economic development. And also the CPEC touched a lot of other issues, other areas. We just mentioned the energy, the infrastructure, and also for the Gwadar port, or even Guada City, I mean, that area, and for some others. So totally, these CPAC projects have already yielded early harvests and will enjoy more progress when time comes or with each passing day. And another point I would like to mention to you, I mean, during this interview, that CPAC not only bring, you know, I mean, overcoming the power deficit, the infrastructure deficit, it also created jobs, I mean, job opportunities for the local youth. By the end of 2022, the CPAC has helped create more than 236,000 jobs.
Yes.
236,000 jobs for the locals.
Yes.
And it also has created direct jobs like 155,000. So that is more than the previous figure we released.
Yes.
Which means that CPAC not only bring the jobs, the opportunities for Pakistanis, especially the young generation, it also provide them with a decent job, decent pay, with a kind of dignity for people to live, for young people to move upward socially. So all in all, I believe this CPAC, I agree, making tremendous contribution to our bilateral relations and to Pakistan in particular. And I also like to wrap it up, this answer, this question, by adding or by putting one argument, one point, that we deem from the start, we deem CPAC is not only a gift, and nor it should be deemed a gift by China, by Chinese government, or even by President Xi Jinping to Pakistan. It's more than that. It should be deemed as a kind of, in proper term, a joint venture, a common undertaking, a shared endeavor.
Yes.
By both our countries,
Yes.
by both peoples. And the CPAC for Pakistan, my suggestion is that since all the projects are here on the soil of Pakistan, and the Pakistan people should take more initiatives and should have a sense of ownership, at least a co-ownership with China, meaning our brothers here in this country should be always on the driver's seat.
Yes.
So that is the beauty, the essence of CPAC. That is also, the nature of our bilateral relations under this CPAC umbrella.
Yes.
And also CPAC, since it is an essential component of Belt and Road Initiative, so this is also for regional connectivity or interconnectivity. And it's mainly for geoeconomics. It's not for geopolitics. It's even not for strategic, competition or some other kind of purposes which is deemed by some untoward elements that CPAC is a kind of ulterior motive, whatever.
You have mentioned a lot of things that are really highly appreciated in Pakistan, and that's why CPAC is really very close to the hearts of the Pakistani people. There are many factors to be mentioned here, but I think the creation of the jobs for the local people was really a great contribution towards the Pakistani society, and it has not only done a great help to Pakistan for Pakistani people for getting the jobs, but it has helped Pakistani people to learn about the new techniques, to work on the new technologies that are being transferred from the Chinese side to Pakistan under this CPAC initiative. So, I would like to take the opportunity to ask a question that Gwadar, you have talked about the Gwadar port. Gwadar port is going to play a very vibrant and very dynamic role as far as the trade activities in the region is concerned, and it is also going to play a very significant role at the diplomatic level as well. Many of the international countries, they are focusing on it, and China is also playing a very great role as far as their diplomacy is concerned. Like Iran is there, Saudi Arabia is there. How do you see that this kind of a peace mediation between Iran and Saudi Arabia will help Gwadar, and it will boost the trade activity in the region through the Gwadar port? How do you see this?
Oh, this is a very special, perspective concerning the Gwadar. It's always China's policy and position to mediate, seeking kind of peaceful resolution of the dispute, peaceful settlement of disputes or conflicts among nations, among different countries. So China's initiative, China's efforts, diplomatic efforts in the rapprochement between Iran and the KSA, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, is welcomed by almost all international members of the international community.
Yes.
And it really have a very positive impact on the region, the Middle East, as well as on the international political landscape. But what the Chinese government or what China did in this regard is not essentially or directly relevant to the Gwadar, development, because Gwadar would deem it as really a kind of a jewel over the crown.
Yes.
It's a kind of mega special project within the CPAC framework. But I agree, this Saudi Arabia, Iran, rapprochement or reconciliation will have a positive impact on, Gwadar, port or Gwadar development. That is a fact, and more influence or impact will be unfolded, when time comes. Let's go back to the Gwadar port.
Yes.
The project. We invest a lot.
Yes.
And as you know, Gwadar port, like Pakistan, you have very good geography, and this port naturally has a advantage, has access to the Middle East, and it's also be linking up with Central Asia, Western Asia. So Pakistan is very lucky.
Yes.
Gwadar is very lucky to enjoy the good geography, which means kind of strategic, advantages. And that is also, I believe, not the driving element, but is a kind of essential reason for China to render a helping hand to Pakistan.
Yes.
In developing Gwadar area, or Gwadar, you call it the district? Gwadar?
Yes,
It's a
yes.
kind of district, not a division, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we invest a lot. We inherited from a Singaporean company, and this is kind of agreement. The lease have already been for 10 years, starting from 2013.
Yes.
Then there are another 30 years to be there. So the total period for the agreement for the development of Gwadar would be 40 years.
Yes.
So now, 10 years already spent, gone. 30 years are still, awaiting. So we, the Chinese companies, the Chinese government, really try to spend no effort to expedite this development process concerning Gwadar. And a lot of things have been done.
Yes.
A lot of achievements has been made,
Yes.
like the Eastern Bay Expressway, And the China-Pakistan Friendship Hospital is going to be accomplished, I believe, in coming October.
Yes.
And the new airport, international airport.
Yes.
I'm not sure exactly which date or what time it's going to be inaugurated, but definitely within this year.
Yes.
I mean, the incoming 3 or 4 months.
Yes.
So this really provides great opportunity for Gawada to further expand, its access, its influence, its opportunities to be connected or reconnected to the outside world and to the region. So a kind of boost, a strong boost for local community, for local economy, for local development, as well providing more jobs to the local youth and to the Balochistan at large.
Yes, sure.
So this is kind of underprivileged or underdeveloped area or region. We have to do this to try to introduce the experience of China's poverty alleviation practice or effort, to incorporate them into Gawada development. Facility, infrastructure, and educational, vocational training school, college, university, and also a hospital providing healthcare, and then a lot of jobs, a lot of charity work to be done, to be carried out for the youth empowerment. Because you mentioned that job opportunity would help Pakistani young people, but it'd be more important to empower them to bring a kind of full around development of human being and to have a kind of capacity building. So I believe all in all, this Gawada development is remaining on track, and it will enjoy a faster pace of development.
Yes. There are many great stories between Pakistan and China that needs to be discussed here. We are really very thankful to you that you have dedicated your precious time for us. And there are many great achievements in China that needs to be discussed and that needs to be explored, not only in Pakistan but in all other developing countries that wants to listen about the development of China, about the economic development of China, because this kind of development from China is really highly appreciable. And the people, in the developing countries especially, they are always looking for developing more collaborations from China, because if China will prosper, we believe the entire world will prosper. And I personally believe that there is no power in this world, either it is Americans or the Westerns. I think they do not have the capacity to contain China. They do not have the capacity to block the development of China. So we were having a very great discussion from you in this interview. Lastly, I just will welcome any of your comment about Pak-China relationship. What do you want to say about Pak-China relationship or the development of Pakistan, or any other suggestion about the regional developments or the economic developments that are going to take place here in this region?
Thank you once again. Thank you for having me, and I really cherish this opportunity, and I think this interview is very timely, and I wish it could be also kind of constructive and fruitful. As concerning China-Pakistan, relationship, as I said, I don't want to add more. I just simply wish China-Pakistan dosti zindabad, and I wish Pakistan would enjoy more progress, prosperity, coupled with stability in the future. Not so long, so far, future. Maybe, in couple months, then you can enjoy the political stability, the social harmony, and every major stakeholders are living in peace. Then, starting from there, you enjoy a kind of growth and social normalcy. then, we can also further develop our bilateral relations.
Definitely.
Because this relationship is really time-tested,
Yes.
long-standing, and mutually beneficial, and for win-win outcome. We do not ask Pakistan to take sides.
Yes.
That is not our position. That is not our policy.
Yes.
And also, for China, we never ever advocate or embark on the journey of the so-called strategic competition.
Yes.
We just want to have the rights, have our own rights
Yes.
to further develop us, to grow ourselves into a kind of, you may say, welfare society or country, or way in China to bring our Chinese dream of national rejuvenation. That is to build China into a modern, prosperous, strong nation in the world. So that is the goal, the ultimate goal for the Chinese government, for the Chinese people, and for China as a nation.
Yes.
Yeah? So by this saying, once again, I thank you for your time. I thank you for this opportunity given, and I wish that both China and Pakistan, with our continuous support, continuous effort, that a kind of common community of a shared future could be enjoyed, could be developed. So for the mutual benefits,
Yes.
for the mutual interests
Yes.
of China and Pakistan.
Yes.
So, Zindaba.
Yes. Chongba Yoi Wansui.
Say.
So I would like to say one thing that for the international community, that it is not the time of decoupling, or it is not the time of
De-risking.
Yes, it is a time of the mutual collaboration and shaking hands, and to develop a close and a shared future of a mankind, a humanity, and that is the only thing that we can do, or we can offer a peace for this entire world. I think this is the need of the time. Thank you very much, Mr. Sheirin Chao, the Consul General of China in Lahore. You are doing a great job in pushing up the relationship to the newer heights, and we expect and we wish to see many new opportunities coming from China for Pakistan. Either it is about under the phase 2 of the CPAC, or it is about the bigger umbrella of Pak-China relationship. So thank you very much, viewers. Mr. Sheirin Chao was with us, and it was really a great discussion. It was really a good interaction. We have tried to explore the various dynamics about Pakistan-China relationship, about CPAC, and we have touched about the China's diplomatic role that is being played at the international level, that is being appreciated by the international community as well. So stay tuned with us. We would be inviting more friends in our upcoming programs in the future, and we will try our level best to explore more stories regarding China and Pakistan relationship. Thank you very much.